Good afternoon, Dr. Martin. I only watched the shortened version of this film, and in that respect, some crucial parts of the story was were left out. Firstly, the shortened version left out why he was being hung to to begin with. In the story, he had long hair and wore a gentleman's coat. That's how they described his attire. He had neither in the film. So in the film, he didn't have either or. The water also was much more shallow than imagined. I was thinking that it would be deeper than that, but in the film, it showed that it was very shallow. Most of the detail that makes the story so vivid is left out of the film version. However, the film version is a cut and dry way to view the story and adds understanding in the flow of the story and how things play out. It is a good support to the story, all in all, the film. It just leaves you in question, who is this guy on the bridge? Why was he there? And why was his life cut so short? The story explains it in full. The film leaves you in question. My comparison in the writing for Chickamauga and the occurrence at Owl Creek Bridge, both stories captured the element of surprise. In Chickamauga, the element of surprise is that the boy is deaf and mute. In the occurrence at the All Creek Bridge, the surprise is that none of the majority of the story really happened. It was all in his head, and that the man died at the bridge. Also, in the Chickamauga, in learning the boy was deaf and mute, you begin question whether or not he was seeing all of the reality, or if it was in his imagination, mixed with perception and of being a deaf mute. Occurrence at the All Creek Bridge, you really think his escape is reality, and come to find out it is only his imagination at the end. This writer here, he is very descriptive in brutal details in both stories. That's what I gathered, the kind of character he is. Also, he describes it in a way that is like in this story and also in the film. Well, not too much the film, in the story. It is described in a way that interacting you can interact more with the character to where you can feel what the man is experiencing as he was standing there getting ready to be hung. That's exactly what I'm talking about for as experiencing. You can kind of feel in the film version, you can put yourself in his place and see the his expression on his face, the sweat coming off his forehead. You you can kind of visualize that in that moment, and like kind of put you in the moment he was in there. Um, Also, the story. Okay, okay. I'm comparing the scenes in the film and in the story. There was in both versions. I mean, there they talked about the dew, which that kind of lets you know that it was like in the morning time, because usually dew is it comes in the morning. They describe the trees very detailed, the leaves on the trees, like the veins, also the insects. They describe different insects that was in there, in his imagination to detail. Um, Also the fluttering of the water. He described that. So overall, both the film and the story, leaves you in suspense. Like, it gets you reading everything, and it totally changes things around to where you would think something else would take place. Like for instance, in the film, he it just like puts you in suspense. you think that that's going to be the end, and then it shows that like in the beginning, let me rephrase this, like in the beginning, whenever they put you up into very much detail, and at the end then it shows you like exactly what happened, so it kind of keeps you in suspense on that. That's what I gathered in both these stories. Well, that's all I have at this time, but I really did enjoy reading this and also looking at the short film. I wish I could have maybe looked at the longer version, but I couldn't. So I wanted up just looking at the shorter version, and they were both interesting to me. Um, okay, thank you.